Okay, good evening, Nina, or good morning, or wherever you are, good afternoon. So, very thrilled to have our second session with Nina Ashby on introductory tarot. The theme for today is It's a Draw. So, Nina we have some presentation and some cards that I'm sure, will guide us an interpretation of that. And so, for those of you who are sort of just about to learn tarot or about to begin, or I are even sort of like do it professionally, you are welcome to follow us for the next few sessions. We will do our course. I think that is sometime back to start in November now. Isn't that correct, Nina? So we will get back on the exact dates and all that, and the course structure and things like that. But without much delay, I'll hand over to Nina. So over to you, Nina, and let me know when you want me to put up the presentation.
Okay, I will. Well, thank you very much for the introduction, Sonal, and welcome everybody who's been able to attend our class today. And welcome to everybody who's going to be seeing this on the recording rather than, afterwards. So welcome to you all. My goal today is to have a little bit of fun, but also do some serious teaching. And I'm going to present to you the theme for today is a little course, class, which is It's a Draw. So we're going to talk about drawing cards. We're going to talk about also how to ask good questions, which is like one of the keys for any kind of psychic work or tarot work or any kind of divination. And then we're going to draw some cards and also do some interpretation and how, strategize how to interpret a card based on the questions that you ask. So without further ado, I think that if you put up the first slide, that would be useful. And you'll all have a chance to ask questions and everything. We're going to do screen sharing. So I'm going to set it up as a slideshow so we don't have to see the top bit, Sonal.
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, that's better. Okay, so here's the first slide. So what is a draw? A draw in tarot is the actual picking of a card or one or more cards from the deck to get an answer. But before drawing the card, you must have an intention and a clear question in mind. And with that question in mind, you shuffle the deck and choose a card. And it's best to write down your question before you shuffle the deck and choose a card, because the interpretation of that card always relates to the question asked. Now, that might seem like a very logical or simple or even silly kind of thing to say, but in my experience as a tarot reader, could you pin my picture, Sonal, on the side thing?
Okay.
There.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. There we go. So, so in my experience as a tarot reader, what's important is the clearer the question that you ask, the clearer the answer that you get. So if you ask a fuzzy question, you get a fuzzy answer. And also, people tend to stray from their question. They see the card and all of a sudden they get all these ideas about what it could be about, which is off-piste. In other words, off the track of the question that you asked. So writing down the question is really good, because when you go into a more receptive, intuitive state, it's easy to forget things. Wouldn't you say so, Sonal?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have to be very, you can't ask a general, in my experience, you can't ask a general question like, oh, how is this relationship going to work out or something, It has to quite or how's my life going to be, or something kind of vague like that.
So if you could go to the next slide, please.
Yeah.
So framing questions is the first thing we're going to talk about. The tarot describes people, it describes situations and or states of being. So the card that you choose has a relationship to all of those things, but it doesn't give you a yes or a no answer. It describes a situation or describes a personality or describes an energy state of being. And so if you ask a question that is too vague, or it's too multiple questions within a question, then how are you going to be able to interpret it clearly? Learn to ask questions that give you what you want to know, what you really want to know. So you really need to sit down and think about what it is that you want to know. The clearer the question, the clearer the answer. And the easier it is to interpret the meaning of the card in relationship to the question asked. So here I've got an example of the Magician card. Magician card means many things. It's a psycho-spiritual card. It's about magic. It's about creation. It's about an inward understanding of how creation takes place. It starts in the mind and then moves into the imagination and then moves down into motivation, then moves down into action. And so all of these stages are important in framing the question as well, which is why I chose the card for this to illustrate this. But let's go on to the next slide. So general questions. So you can answer a general question, but it needs to be slightly vague, and the card gives some general insight and with picking up particular points. So these give information, again, around a situation, a person, or a state of being. So for example, you can, if you want to have a practice with your card and shuffle your deck and say, what do I need to know? Just generally, that's actually a good question, because whatever card comes up will tell you what you need to know and give you a description of what you need to know about. But it'll be general. It won't be specific, but it will be reflecting something in your life that you need to know about or that has been on your mind. You could also ask a general question like, what will 2022 be like for me? And this is the theme card. So like, give me a theme for 2022. Again, you shuffle the deck and you can have a theme. So I've done that. And this is the card that I've picked, which is the star card. Ooh, the star card. So the star card means 2022 for me is going to be all about dreaming big. And it's about fortune. And it's about having, dreaming, believing, not, believing, having faith. The start is also, as I said, dreaming big, bigger than going beyond my limitations. So, and in order to have new beginnings, in order to create new things. So that's an example, a very simple example of a very general question, but how you interpret it has to be general. It's not going to tell me, this card isn't going to say, oh, it's about work, or it's about love, or it's about family. It's not about that. It's about a general theme. So before I go on, are there any questions from anybody? Is this all clear to people? You can write it in the chat room. So the chat button is at the bottom of your screen, and you can, if anybody has questions, you can type it, and then Sanal will read it out to me.
Nope, we don't have.
Nothing yet. So
No.
let's go on to the next slide, please. Okay, so now we're going to talk about
Sorry. Yeah.
specific questions.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
so these type of questions relate to specific people, specific situations or energy states, and often relate to a time frame. So when you frame your question, you have to say your time frame. For example, within the next 6 months, what's going to happen? Or what kind of person is A? Or what is the nature of the connection between me and A? A being just a person, right? Or what do I need to learn from my relationship with A? These are all specific questions relating to a specific individual. How does A feel about me? Again, you could choose one or more cards. It doesn't matter depending on where you are in terms of learning about your cards. Or why has B changed their mind? Or if we wanted to relate it to something work-wise, will I get a job within the next 6 months or the next 3 weeks? Or how will this interview go for me? You know, what will it produce for me? Because I'm asking a question that's going to describe what happens. It's not going to give me a yes or a no answer. You're not going to ask, will I get this job? You can say, how will the interview go? Or if I get this job, what would I gain from it? Or what is the potentials involved? So you're asking about to draw information from your inner self and have it become visible through the cards.
Yeah.
And
Nina,
I think,
at
yeah.
this point, like funny you mentioned about specific questions, and yes and no. I always thought that yes and no actually works quite well, but maybe yes and no kind of a thing works very well with dowsing or with oracle cards, maybe. But when supposing, let's say a job interview, if you have like a job interview, are you going to get it? Are you going to get the job? How are you saying that it is impossible to answer a question like that through tarot?
It's not impossible, but the card itself does not say yes or no. The card, through its image, describes the potential and the information around that. So, for example, if you say, if you say, will I get this job, and you get the death card, or you get the tower,
Yeah.
those cards are not yes or no in themselves, but the meaning of the card means forget it. You're not going to get that. And then you could go on to say, well, why? You know, or
Yeah.
question, look at the energy around why that wouldn't happen. But most of the time it's not that clear, Sanal, as you know. So
Yeah.
you might get, or if you get the 3 of Cups, which is celebration, you could say, yeah, you probably get that job because you're celebrating. And this is what you wanted, this is what you went for. But my point is, the card does not say in itself yes or no.
Yeah.
It describes an energy around that situation, which leads you someplace.
Okay.
Yes and no questions are kind of limiting questions, aren't they?
Yeah. 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 Because it reflects the circumstances that you will be surrounded by.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's what's interesting and useful about it, in the sense that when you have a card that can give you something a little bit ambiguous. The thing is, most of the time you don't just draw one card, you draw several cards, and you can ask question and then in the layout, which we haven't really gone into at this point in time, in the layout, you would specify past, present, future, or you could specify, sometimes what I do when I explore, for example, am I going to get this job, or what would this job offer me, or should I take this job, or this job? I have them cut into the pile and then take 7 cards and look at them one after another and look at the flow of what energy and of what those cards are saying. So sometimes it comes up like, well, you could get a second interview, but maybe don't get your hopes up because there's somebody who may be more qualified than you who gets it, but then there's something else that comes up that's better for you in the end. So there's the beauty of tarot is you can find out these answers, not just with yes, no, and then feel like, oh my God, I'm devastated. There's no opening here. It gives you enough more information that can assist you and guide you to understand why you might not get that job, why there might be another job that's better suited to you, or, you know, what you need to do in order to get the level of job that you do want, for example.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super.
Am I being clear here?
Yes, yes. Any questions so far? None.
Okay. So can you go to the next slide, please?
Okay.
The draw. So as I said, drawing a card is about just literally choosing a card. It's the tarot term for choosing a card. And there are several options to draw the answer from the deck. That's what you're doing. And in every instance, your energy is attracting the answer from all the possibilities within the deck. So I just want to expand a little bit on that. Tarot is a system that is a reflection of all aspects of life. And in your minor arcana, you have the court cards, which represent individuals. You have the numbered cards that also have an element connected to it through the suit and a number. And all of those things together give you information about the mundane or the daily life experience and people. And then you have your major arcana, which are 22 cards, which relate to the journey, the spiritual journey through life of the Fool through the world. And these are psycho-spiritual cards and do not relate to external circumstances. They relate to you. They relate to, or the person for whom you are asking the question. They are about you and about your attitude, your psychology, and your spirituality, your mind, your emotions, your spirit. They're not about circumstances. And so all of the possibilities of life are contained within this deck. And by shuffling the deck, you're magnetically allowing, like stirring a pot, the bubbles to rise to the top, the images to rise to the top. Whether you shuffle the cards or hover your hand over the cards or just cut into the deck, the answer will always be correct. The tarot does not lie. Right, Sana?
Yes, absolutely. Never. I think it's like any occult, we may interpret it incorrectly. You know, we may sort of make errors on that front, especially regarding the timings and stuff. So our techniques may fail, but the tarot per se won't.
Exactly. Very, very true. So I'm going to just come back now to
would you want to do
I just want to pin my video here. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
So I want to go on to the next point, which is in the beginning, when you're a beginner reader. No, go back, please. I haven't finished. Thank you. In the beginning, so point number 3, keep it simple and just draw one card using your preferred method. So I'm going to do the method in a minute, but and when you're more confident, then you can keep drawing additional cards to flesh out the information from your answer. Though the first card always represents the true answer, and other cards provide more detail or timing around your question. And that's really important to know. So I'm just going to, can you go to the next slide, please?
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about shuffling your cards. So I did mention that mixing the cards up, which is what shuffling the cards or in order to draw the deck, helps randomize the selection, but also draw up your energy into the cards. So maybe it would be good for somebody to ask a question. So does somebody have a question that they can frame that's simple or that they would like to ask, and I can demonstrate?
Yes, Nina, can I please ask you a question about my cat?
Okay, hold on. So
Yeah, so
right, hold on a second. So the first thing I'm doing is getting a piece of paper, because what do I want to do? Write it down, right?
course,
So
yes.
what is your question about your cat?
Yes, last year on the 23rd of June, we lost our cat. Actually, it dropped out from the window and it lived for 2 weeks outside and we could never find it again. So what happened to the cat?
Okay. And what's the cat's name?
Alvin, A-L-V-I-N.
Okay, what happened to Alvin the cat? Okay, so now this is good because I'm going to ask you to visualize Alvin the cat. I want you to, and I'm going to connect to your energy and connect to your question. And I'm going to shuffle the deck. Okay, so I'm just shuffling the deck. I'll talk about, you know, don't take the cards and do it like you're playing poker. Hold it in your hand and just shuffle like so. I use small cards because I got small hands. When I have a bigger deck, it's much more of a problem. But here we go. Okay, so what happened to Alvin the cat? So I want you to tell me when you want me to stop shuffling.
Okay, let's stop it.
Okay, so she's told me when to stop shuffling. So the card on the top is the answer and your main response to interpret the card. Okay, so this is the card that we got. Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so that's interesting. So Alvin the cat is coming up, Knight of Pentacles. But Alvin the cat was probably resourceful cat. I'm going to say that the Knight of Pentacles is Alvin, because we don't have pets in the tarot.
Yes, sure.
So the energy signature of the Knight of Pentacles is Virgo, practical, etc. It may also mean that he was resourceful, fell out the window and probably slept under a bush for a while because that's what they do. It may be that also somebody picked him up. And not an easy question to answer. But the next card on top of that was the card of the Lord of Rest. It's not death. So there was a recuperation period. A King of Rods. I think somebody picked him up. But then there's the death card. So my feeling of the interpretation of your question is Alvin, the cat, who is represented by the Knight of Pentacles, crept under a bush or into some place where they could be rest, which is what cats do when they are injured. Somebody picked them up, and Wands is also healing, but I think Alvin the cat has passed away in spite of whatever care that was there.
I see. Thank you very much, Nina. Thank you.
I'm sorry, it's a bit of an emotional question, but
Yeah, it's okay.
No,
Yes, actually, yeah, I have been doing tarot readings for a couple of years now. I can't say that I am a professional, a true professional yet, but still, I did some tarot readings for myself last year, and I was really confused, and I kept asking and asking, and then I just pulled out the card, the devil, yeah, several times. So it was the final answer of the cards.
right. So the devil card in that respect is like, you've got to let go.
Yeah, right.
That
right.
was the
Okay.
devil was not about your answer about Alvin. That was about a reflection of you, because it's a psycho-spiritual card, isn't it?
Yes, right. Okay. Thank you
Good.
very much.
You're welcome. So thank you very much for that. So that's what a shuffle draw is. You shuffle the cards with your intention in mind. You choose the answer from the top. Your main card is the response card that you interpret from, and every other card that you pick describes a situation around it. I hope that's clear. So let's go to the next kind of draw. Next slide, please. The hover draw. Okay, I'm going to switch my screen now. Hold on. And I'm going to turn this one on. Start video, and this one is going to be a stop video. Oops. Hold on. Can I do that? Oh dear, hold on. Okay. Got it. Okay, now I can do it. All right, so let me take that one off. And then I'm going to pin this video. Right, so the hover draw. I'm sorry it's a little bit distant, but it's the best I can do for the moment. So you take the whole deck in your dominant hand. So I'm a right-handed person. And this is, I take the deck and I spread the cards out using my hand. Sometimes I can do it in a big sweep, but take the whole deck, place it in front of you, and in movement, spread the cards away from you like a fan along the table, or arrange them like that, okay? And then using your dominant hand, you have to ask your question again. So do we have another question from the group? Somebody have another question?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay. What's that question?
Okay, so what is the nature of the connection between me and the person that I have just met at work, at my new job?
With a new person. Give me their first initial.
T.
T. Okay, good, thank you. So,
Thank you.
well, so I'm doing this remotely for you, and that's very fine. That's what I do all the time as a professional reader. I'm asking questions for other people. And so I've written the question down. What is the connection between me and T? in my new job. And I'm going to hover my hand. As I hover my hand, I'm going to feel for a tingle, but I want you to imagine, I want you to tell me when to stop, okay? So I could feel a tingle, but you're asking the question, so I'm going to ask you to tell me when to stop.
Okay, stop.
That one?
Yes.
Okay, that's going to be our answer. And that's what a hover draw is. Okay, now we don't take, if we want to flesh it out, we just continue doing the same thing. You hover and get card number 2 or 3 or 4, or however you want to proceed. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so if I was doing it for me, I'd wait till I felt a tingle and then I'd choose that. So what do I mean by a tingle? A little sort of tingling sensation on my fingertips or on my palm. Everybody feels it slightly differently. Okay, so it's about feeling, not thinking. Not thinking it should be this card, it's feeling. So you choose that card and then you lay it face upwards. Okay, the Chariot. So I have an idea about what this means for you, but I would like you to draw 2 more cards to help to explain that card, okay?
Okay.
So in explaining it, the first card that you're going to specify will be about an emotional connection. And the second card that you draw will be maybe a spiritual connection, okay? Is that good? Are you happy
Good.
with that?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes,
So the
good.
first card, I'm going to write that down, is emotional. And the second card is spiritual connection. But the connection is this card, the Chariot. Okay, so now we're going to go for the emotional one. Okay, here we go. Let's start.
Okay. Stop.
That one. That one. I got the tingle.
Okay.
This one or that one? This
That one, the tingle.
This one. Okay, that one. Okay, that's tingle 1. Now we want spiritual tingle 2.
Tingle too.
Okay, right. Let's go again. Are we ready? Spiritual tingle 2.
Yes.
That one. Okay, right. So we're not going to look at those just yet. Let's start with this card. So my first impression when I tune into interpreting this card from this hover draw, in answer to your question, what is the connection? What is my connection with T? I've got the Chariot. So the first thing I would say, the Chariot is a psycho-spiritual card, and it means that things are moving forward, even though they don't seem to be moving forward. And what I would say about this, my impression is this is about you. It's not about what's moving forward in your life necessarily, but how you feel about it. I always think the Chariot is like going over cobblestones. It's not about climbing big mountains. It's bumpity, 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 bump, right? And so you're making lots of new adjustments in your life and trying to get yourself together. Of course, it's a new job, so there's lots of things that you have to deal with, including new relationships with people. But what this also points out to me in terms of my psychic ability is that maybe this is also something emotionally that you didn't expect to meet somebody with whom you had a connection quite like that. And it could be a way forward to resolving some old confidence issues with around relationships that will be the challenge in terms of meeting this person. When I say challenge, I don't necessarily mean it's negative, because I think good things come out of challenges or problems. Okay, so now let's look at emotional connection. Okay, so there's something familiar about this person.
Exactly.
Okay, how they go about it, maybe their background, because this is the card, the 10 of Pentacles is about happy families. So this is about something reminds you of something fundamental in your life about him, that about being happy, about being supported, about wanting to have support, and maybe that familiarity, maybe cultural as well, I'm not interpreting this card alone. It has to go back to the Chariot. So this is about helping you to come to terms with your past in relationship to how you deal with the relationship with T and your connection with them. And now let's look at the spiritual connection. Now you've also got a psycho-spiritual card, Temperance, which has to do with patience and rebalancing yourself. So I'm going to say that my intuition was correct. This whole connection that you have with him is about recalibrating yourself and putting yourself back on the track so you can move forward to thinking about relationships in a more positive way and to reconnect to something that's very fundamental in terms of what your needs are on a material level as well. It's not just emotional support, it's something practical support. So he could become a friend, but what he's going to teach you, or what you're going to learn from your connection from him, is about how you have an opportunity to rebalance your feelings around family, about relationships, about your position in and your ability to stand up, speak up, and be measured in relationships. So that's my interpretation of it in an appropriate way. What would you say to that?
I think it makes a lot of sense, actually. It makes sense. It's still new, but it makes sense. It makes sense. It might be that is to gain some balance and reconnection with myself. It makes sense. Thank you very much.
The thing is that it's a journey. The Chariot is about a journey. It's not about it's it, right?
Yes. Yes.
Good. Okay.
Thank you.
So that's an example of a hover draw and how you would utilize it in the sense of asking a good question. That was really good. What's my connection? We got a description, and then we got 3 cards, which the first card gives us the interpretation, and the second other 2 cards, which we have specified in how they relate back to that original card, is there. Right. So I'm going to thank you very much for your participation. I really appreciate it. So, Sonal, can we go back to our PowerPoint presentation now, please?
Okay. Give me a moment.
Of course.
Share screen.
And I'm going to go. Right. And I'm going to take this one off. Oops. Can you remove the pen on that?
Yeah.
So, can you keep that there? And can you go to the next slide, please?
Yeah.
Cut draw. Okay, so we're going to do a cut draw. So you think of your question. Does somebody else want to ask a question now? How about one of our lovely Indian participants? Do you have a question? A simple question? No?
No.
Okay. Nobody else has a question? Sonal,
Okay. Yes, Julia asking a question. Good afternoon. Would you please kindly share your experience on how to protect yourself during reading? Are there any specific rituals to perform before and after during tarot? Okay, we'll come back to this question towards the end. Unless somebody has a question, we will tackle that.
No.
Anyone has a question? Shika?
I'd rather stick to our intention of what I'm teaching about today, but I will give you a short response on that. So thank you very much for asking that question. It's a very good question. Okay, let's just do a cut draw. So you think of a question.
Shall I ask a question then?
Yes, you ask a question.
Okay. There is shall I tell you loudly?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. There is a particular theme that I'm thinking of, working on. And will it be okay for me to work on that?
What did you say, a T or a team?
Theme, to prepare for a particular theme, a topic.
Oh, a theme. Sorry.
A theme or a topic that I want to specifically pursue, towards the end of the year. So will it be okay to, pursue that and research much more? And am I on the right track regarding that?
Okay. So what's interesting here, Sonal, is you've asked a yes or no question.
Yeah.
So we don't want an yes or no question. Let's think of a different way to reframe this question. No. I'm going to give the example.
Okay.
So Sonal has asked a yes or no question. Is this going to work out? Is this theme the right one for me to choose? How about saying instead is, if I choose this theme, what would be the outcome? In other words, the cards are going to describe the outcome of working with that theme.
Okay, or something like, will it be successful in, if I choose that theme, then will I be
That's
successful?
still a yes/no question.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay. Wow.
It's still, is this going to be successful? Yes, no.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying, if I choose this theme, what will be the outcome? Describe the outcome. So that's going to give you your answer in a much broader sense, but specific to. Okay, so now you, Sonal, please think of your question. If I do this, pursue this theme, what will be the outcome? I'm writing it down so I can remember it, because I get spaced out. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle the deck, and I want you to think of that question. If I pursue this theme, what will be the outcome? And then tell me when you wish to want me to stop shuffling.
Okay, you can stop now, please. Thank you.
Okay. So the idea of this is a cut draw. So I've shuffled the deck, and I'm not taking card from the top. I'm going to ask Sonal where I want to cut from the deck. If I was just doing it myself, I would just take the deck and cut someplace. Okay. And you can cut from multiple places. Okay. So I'm going to put my fingers here, and I want you to tell me when to stop. So that will be the place where I cut from.
Okay.
Can you see?
Yeah. Okay, stop.
Okay. Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you put the top of the deck of the pile to the side, and the bottom deck is the one you draw from. Okay. So your answer is the Knight of Pentacles. So that says the theme that you've chosen is going to be one, knights are questers. Okay, so if you can focus on this card rather than on the screen share, that would be good.
Okay, 1 sec.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so I've got my question here. This is the bottom of the pile. Here I've got the Knight of Pentacles. That's the answer to the first answer to the question. So that's you pursuing that theme. And you are the Knight of Pentacles, because this is a Virgo card. This is about commerce. It's Pentacles. You're questing. And then I'm just going to, so I'm going to give you a choice. I can continue to pull cards from the top of this pile, or I can cut again into the deck. What would you prefer?
Yes, please cut again.
Okay, so I'm going to cut from the deck, the bottom pile, not the top pile. Okay. Okay, so here we go again. Ready?
That's it. Lovely.
Sorry. Okay, so that's one. How many cards do you want?
3.
Okay, do you want this or do you want to cut again?
No, I'll go with that. Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is with these cards, we're specifying that they're describing your question. If I pursue this theme for work, what will be the outcome? Knight of Pentacles. You're going to work hard for it. You know, there's a lot of detail. That's Virgo stuff, right? And it has to do with making material things. So it's probably product based. Okay, because it's Pentacles, it's product. Okay,
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's if you had gotten another suit, it might have, if you forgotten, for example, if you had swords, it would be, you would be writing something, or if you had, etc. Okay, so I'm going to just take these 1, 2, 3 and do it in order like this. Okay. So this is something you've been thinking about for a long time, because 6 of Cups is the card of nostalgia, but it also could be connected to being safe for children or used for children or family. Okay. And 6 of Cups is a card of happiness. So it's going to make you happy, and it's for the well-being of other people.
Yeah.
6 of Pentacles. Somebody will help you with this. You'll be the one person who launches it, but if you do it, you will be fortunate, because 6 of Pentacles is the card of charity. In other words, you'll have somebody to help you, or somebody to help promote you, something to help with the product, but they're going to give you some kind of opportunity. Okay. And then you have the Hermit card. So what's really important is you don't talk about it too much to other people. Okay, while you're doing it, you keep it under wraps. The Hermit card is you have to walk alone while you do it, and you have to keep your light strong, because if you talk to other people about it, they're going to dilute the light, and they might also steal it, or they might also in some way you might feel like you're alone with this. And I'm going to choose one more card.
Okay.
King of Rods. So I'm going to say there will be a man who helps you, and rods are always about creativity, maybe with the marketing, maybe with the presentation. I think that if that card, because court cards can also represent a part of you or quality of you, like the Knight of Pentacles is the questing entrepreneur. King of Rods is a king card, right? It's a king. Yeah. That's brilliant, because that means that you are successful, and it's only the beginning of something. It's not something in itself that's going to end there, because the Kings of Rods are endlessly creative.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah.
So that would be my interpretation on and how to cut into the deck to amplify your readings.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Lovely. Thank you. Can we go back to our slideshow now?
Okay, this is great. So the King of Rods was the main outcome.
Yeah. Yeah, if you, so because you're Knight of Pentacles,
Yeah.
take that theme, work through it, and the outcome will be successful and other people will be interested in supporting you in that venture.
Okay.
But
Sounds
don't, but
amazing.
don't talk too much about it initially. Do your homework, and when you're ready,
Yeah.
there will be the right people on board to help you.
Okay. Sounds good.
So is that the end? Hold on. I think I have some more. So if you scroll down.
Yeah, let me just slide through. Okay, there we go. So,
Right, the cut draw. So we're going to go to the end, go to the next one.
yeah.
Okay, so this is, it's a draw. Frame your question. What do I need to know now? Shuffle and cut the drawer. The star is the answer. The interpretation. Now is the time to dream big. Use your imagination and create a vision of where you want to be, or what you want to do or have. Believe in it and revise your priorities to reflect what you want. Your dreams will come to fruition. Now, at the beginning of our class, which card did I draw? The star, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't mean to. I literally cut in and I forgot that I had used this as an example. So interesting.
Amazing.
That's exactly what I asked. What do I need to know now? And I got the star. And then we got the star again. Wow, I love it. Okay, go on to the next slide, please.
Okay. Yep.
So now it's your turn to have a go. Take what we've learned, go home. Remember to interpret the card according to the question only. And I hope you've enjoyed my little presentation, and I hope you join us again for another free monthly tarot taster divination. And you can.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, can I ask one question, please?
Of
Yes.
course. Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, actually, I want to know that two of my friends, they are in a relationship and they are planning for the marriage. Is the marriage possible? And how will be the married life?
Ooh, that's a big question. Nina, over to you.
Okay, I'm trying to think about the best way to answer or to ask that question, because you've asked like 3 questions in one question, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's find, what do you really want to know? Is this going to be a successful marriage? Or are they going to get married? Or we can only ask one question at a time. What is the nature of their relationship? What are they learning about? Will they stay together? If you have lots of doubts about this, then that must be the reason you're asking this question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this about you, Shika, or about somebody else, you know?
No, it's about my friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Can I just ask this question?
Both the
Is it
girl
like-
and the boy, both are my friend. Both are my best friend. And so I'm asking this question.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay, I would ask, are you interested in the boy?
No.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Both are my friends. So I'm not interested in anyone, but I want to know the answer.
Okay.
So, but which is the most important question?
Will they get married?
Okay, let's leave it at that, okay? Okay, so what kind of draw would you like?
What kind of drama means?
So, do you want to have me to shuffle? Do you want to have a cut? Or do you want to have a hover?
No, ma'am, shuffle it.
Shuffle, okay. So, I want you to think, will my friends get married. Okay. And as I shuffle, I want you to think of your friends, asking that question. And whenever you feel I've shuffled enough, please tell me to stop.
Please stop.
Okay. So we're going to take the card from the top. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Have they known each other a very long time?
Yes.
They've known each other since childhood, so they were friends for a long time, or this is a relationship that was a reconnection, right?
Yes.
6 of Pentacles. So that's interesting. Okay. So what I would say is, in reconnecting, I think that they have discovered some very good things about things, and that they both want a certain kind of security in their life. So here you've got lots of pentacles. Okay. I think maybe one of them, or I think maybe one of them took a little while to kind of open up, but I think that they're both looking for something new in their lives. And I think they will probably get married, but I don't think it will be immediately. And I also feel that they may be thinking about moving, or they may not live in the same kind of place. So there would be some kind of logistical issue here, because you've got 2 of Rods. Where in the world should we be? And the 3 of Rods is, you know, we need to take our time to get the mechanics of everything correct. I don't think it's going to be immediate. If they get married, then it won't be for at least another year, but their relationship will develop and they will get closer. That's what I'll say. Okay.
Kindly repeat actually your voice.
Pardon? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Hello? Okay, well, we've lost that reception for some reason, but I hope that's been useful and a good demonstration of what's a draw is. So now I just want to turn my attention.
Nina, I think she said repeated. So what was the outcome really?
The outcome was, yes, they probably will get married, but not immediately.
Okay. So maybe her connection went down or something. Anyway, so what do we do now?
Okay, so what I want to do now is just address the question that was put onto the chat. I'm not saying people's names, okay? But the question was, share my experience on how to protect oneself during a reading. Are there specific rituals before or after using tarot? Okay, well, this is it's a very good question. I'm just going to try and unspotlight this and go to here. Okay, I want to spotlight. Okay, so it's a really good question and one that's important to manage your energy when you give readings, but it's too big a question to answer in any great depth here. What I would say is, rather than doing a big ritual, what I always do is a very little ritual. And that ritual is a mental preparation that I go through. It's very simple. I center myself through breathing. I always say, may I be a clear channel for, and I name the person, that they may hear what they need, get the information that they need according to God's will and to their higher self. So may I be a truth channel. So when I say that, what I'm doing is I'm positioning myself to be a channel for that information, connected to the divine energy and connected to their energy for their highest good. That's the simple way to be clear and to do. In terms of protecting yourself, I think that if you're somebody who is very prone to being too involved in your client and too focused on being right and having the right outcome, then you're opening yourself up to being too emotionally involved. And really, as a reader, what you need to do is to step away and be a dispassionate viewer. So you're in the middle of something, of giving information, a channel for the divine, and you're not imposing yourself. It can only come through the self, but it's your inner position that matters. I never think personally that I am at risk all the time, but some people are more than others. So, but the reason perhaps that I'm not is that I've spent, a very, very long time and every day of my life for the past 50 odd years meditating, working on myself, breathing, clearing my energy, making sure that my energy space is clear. Sometimes I burn incense, sometimes I burn a candle, I hydrate, I drink water. But I think more important is my relationship to the person for whom I'm reading, and that I don't have any kind of negativity about or hold anything about I was right, I was wrong. It's the outcome, because you're just giving information and it's up to the other person to deal with what's on the other side of that and make their own choices. You're not there to make their choices. So that's my answer to that, but it's a short answer to a good question and something that needs to be looked at. Rituals are there to help to focus the mind. That is the only purpose of ritual.
Excuse me.
Thank you. So how can we decide which way to draw the cards? It doesn't matter, Sangeeta, which method you choose, just choose one. So I would recommend that I've presented you with 3 different ways to shuffle and to shuffle the cards and then to draw the cards. Shuffling is important because it's about mixing the cards and magnetically connecting to your answer, so it comes to the surface. But how you draw the card, it doesn't matter. But we will talk next time about layouts more, okay? So thank you very much for participating. I think that's probably all that you can all absorb at this point of time. The tarot is a very big subject. So
Yeah.
practice what you've done, and thank you so much for joining in, and thank you for those who are going to be watching as well, and thank you Sanal and Divinations for allowing me to have the opportunity to teach and share my expertise. I hope you've had just as much fun as I have.
Yes, thank you very much, Nina. And do feel free to put your questions, if you have any, or comments in the Telegram group of Divinations. Thank you, and bye for now. And next one we have in July, right?
But the next one will be, I'm going to tell you right now, July. I'll get my calendar up. The 13th of July, same time, same place, 13th of July. Get your friends to come on, talk about it, share. That would be really great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Want to read
Thank
it?
you.
You go to my website, ninaashby.com.
Lovely. Thank you, Nina. Speak soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.